Hello, good morning, everyone. Today, uh, I will talk about a very interesting topic: the science of motivation. Inspired by the work of Daniel H. Pink, who challenged the traditional way we think about what drives people to perform better. Uh, for a long time, we believe that motivation works like this called carrot and stick. Reward good behavior and punish bad behavior. Uh, but Dan Pink argues that this method is outdated, especially in today's world of creativity, innovation, and knowledge-based work. Let us imagine a simple situation. If you tell someone, do this task and you will get a reward. It may work for simple routine tasks. However, research shows that for complex and creative work, reward can actually reduce effort. Research shows that for complex and creative work, reward can actually reduce performance. Why? Because rewards narrow focus, limit creativity, reduce intrinsic interest. So instead of thinking deeply, people start working only for the result, not for learning, growth, purpose. So the new quote is intrinsic motivation. Damping explains that real motivation comes from within, not from external rewards. He introduces three key elements. Okay, so damping introduces three key elements of motivation. These are autonomy, mastery, and purpose. So we will discuss one by one. Autonomy means the desire to direct our own lives. People want control over their work. When individuals have the freedom to decide what to do, how to do, when to do it, they feel more responsible and motivated. Example. Companies like Google allow employees to spend time on their own projects. This leads to innovation and higher satisfaction. Mastery. The urge to get better at something. Humans naturally want to improve and grow. Mastery is about learning new skills, practicing regularly, overcoming challenges. It is not about perfection, it is about progress. So, mastery means learning new skills, practicing regularly, overcoming challenges. The third thing is purpose, the desire to do something meaningful. People are more motivated when they believe their work has greater purpose. Instead of working only for money, they want to contribute to society, help others, be part of something bigger. For example, a doctor, teacher, or a engineer often feels motivated not just by salary, but by the impact of their work. So, intrinsic motivation consists of three things: autonomy, they have three, young to, powerful, and popular. They have mastery, they continue learning and improving their skills. And third thing is they have a purpose in addition to salary, a big purpose. And the extrinsic versus intrinsic motivation we also have. That is compared with extrinsic and intrinsic. So now the in the new era, the main if there is more intrinsic motivation, it is much better than extrinsic motivation as reward or self. Let's compare it. Extrinsic motivation versus intrinsic motivation. Rewards and punishment is the external motivation. Intrinsic motivation is personal satisfaction. Extrinsic motivation is part of it. Intrinsic motivation is long-term growth. In external motivation, there is external pressure. While in intrinsic motivation, there is internal. In external motivation, there is limited reaction. While in intrinsic motivation, there is higher reaction. So, Ganting's message is clear. Intrinsic motivation is more powerful than external. So, how can we apply this in our lives? So, at work, we can give people more independence, encourage learning and skill development, and connect tasks to a meaningful purpose. In education, we can uh, more focus, uh, less focus on grades, more on that. We can encourage curiosity, and play. In personal life, set meaningful goals. Enjoy the process, not just that. Focus on growth instead of rewards. And finally, Gant's idea is simple but powerful. People are not machines driven by rewards. They are humans driven by purpose, growth, and peace. When we understand this, we can unlock true motivation not just in ourselves but in others as well. So, at the end, I summarize it. Traditional motivation works only for simple tasks. A complex work which reduces creativity and real motivation comes from within. Three key drivers of motivation, of intrinsic motivation, are autonomy, that is control of overall, mastery, desire to improve, and the purpose is meaningful work. Intrinsic motivation leads to better performance, greater satisfaction, and long-term success. It truly motivates ourselves and others. we must focus on freedom, growth, and purpose, not just self argument. Thank you very much for the meaning given to that I think. Thank you.